So welcome to today's pre-market live stream. My name is Chris Caprice, Second Skies Trading, head trader here. And we're going to be kind of picking and going through our top stocks that we want to look at for today. We're going to start off actually looking at the meta indices, SPYs, Qs, IWM, Bitcoin. And then we're going to be looking at the top movers in Benzinga. And then after that, we'll do open Q&A where you can ask any question that you want. And if you have a question about an instrument, hey, can you do analysis on this? I'm in this trade. What do you think of this? We just have 3 simple requirements. You got to give us the instrument symbol, the time frame, the 1-sentence description, bullish or bearish. That's it. So you do that and we'll do call outs. So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump right into the SPY analysis to start off with. And Jeremy, good to see you as well. So looking at SPYs here, SPYs recovered pretty much all of its losses yesterday. So SPYs opened at 415, sold off, came close to our 410 buy point, but just didn't quite get there. Buyer stepped in a little bit earlier on 412. And it was very strong buying off of that 412. You know, we had talked about in real time saying, hey, with our members here, this bounce looks constructive. It's building. If it clears this, it's bullish. And it had a little rip in the last 15, 30 minutes to recover the session VWAP, not the weekly VWAP. Overnight, it's already up about 1.5 points. And so when we look at SPYs right now, we feel like, okay, we have our range in SPYs. We might raise our buy point to 412, but we still like our 410, 411 area. And now we have 420, 425 as over resistance. I don't see SPYs breaking 425 today. I don't see it visiting back down to 410 today, but we could. Markets are in negative gamma mode right now. SPYs, Qs, IWMs. Actually, SPYs, I think, overnight shifted back into positive gamma, if I'm correct. And what that means is that if the market is negative gamma, the market is net short options. If the market is positive gamma, that means the market is net long options. Why does that matter for us? When the market is net long gamma or positive net long options and positive gamma, you have less volatility. We had mentioned yesterday that before the session with our members, markets were negative gamma. So we can expect that if there is a downside move, we get a much bigger volatile move to the downside. And we had that in SPYs, in Qs. Markets sold off pretty aggressively yesterday and then recovered late in the session. So with SPYs, now it's back into positive gamma territory. I don't expect it to be a big mover. I think range will probably be maybe, if we're lucky, we can make it up to 420, 419. I don't think we'll make it up to 420 today. If we start to get to sell off, I think bids will step in probably around 415. And if it breaks that, then we go back to yesterday's lows at 412 for the next dip buying opportunity. But not a whole lot of volatility expected in SPYs. I expect it to be kind of a calmer session. The only way I would suspect it to be a really volatile session is if we get an impulsive selling right off the bat, but I don't think we're going to get that. One thing I do want to note about SPYs is that the people who bought puts yesterday did not close their puts. They didn't monetize their puts, which is interesting because the market did sell off, and they could have closed some of their puts probably for some money. But they didn't. They're still holding it. So it seems like they're still sensing, option buyers are still sensing, they want to hold some of their downside protection in case this happens again. So that's very interesting on SPYs. Qs, totally different story. Qs, while it has recovered a fair amount of yesterday's losses, and the overnight session is helping, it didn't recover. Yesterday it opened 333. We're about $1 or about a point below that right now. Qs has definitely been the laggard, and Qs is in more negative gamma territory, and so there's a lot more volatility in that. Qs definitely struggled yesterday and had the weakest bounce off the lows. Only until the very end of it did it actually start to gain. So if you're looking for volatility, tech is where you're going to find it. It's still in negative gamma territory right now, and the markets as a whole, I think, are a little more sensitive to tech movements than SPYs right now. So with that being said, looking at Qs right now, we are now above the weekly VWAP. And so I think next up on Qs has a little bit more resistance overhead. It's got a lot more work to chew through. So the first thing I'm looking at is 334. I just realized I don't have my trusty pen. Hold on. Loading trusty pen. Okay, there you are. Okay, trusty pen. Do something. So here is the support that was kind of, you know, the base of this corrective structure for a while, and now that's going to act as resistance on the way up. So Q's has to chew through 334.32. This was support, now resistance. So it's got a little bit more overhead. SPY's only has a few points to regain the all-time highs. Q's has got a little bit more to go. So I think if Q's can get above, and it's got a little bit more meat ahead of it here and here. That's around 337. So I think Q's is going to have a harder time chewing through resistance, and I think people might, if they sense weakness in Q's, they might look at these rallies as opportunities to sell. So expect more volatility in Q's and in tech. If you're looking for volatility in individual stocks, tech is where you're going to find it. Short term, it's bullish while it's above the weekly VWAP, but we got this just overhead. So I wouldn't want to get long Q's here. I'd probably want to wait till it can clear 335, and then maybe you can get a couple points up to 337. Otherwise, I'll wait for dips down to 326 or 325, which is kind of a major option strike on the support side there. So that's what's going on in Qs. IWM, which is small caps, has rallied like S&P 500 overnight. We have an iron butterfly option play on this, and I think our break-even point is like 227, 228. So right now we're at 224.60, which means that we're almost, or we've pretty much recovered monthly VWAP. So overall, I think this expires this Friday, so I think we're probably going to be fine and still collect a decent profit on this. But looking at this one here, I don't expect IWM, which is the small cap ETF, to really have any gangster movements to the upside anytime soon. And so if it drifts up to 230 or 233, I'm going to sell it. And so I'll either sell it outright or sell it via options. If we close the week between, say, 220 and 225, then I'll probably do another weekly iron butterfly on that, which basically makes money if the market goes absolutely nowhere. So that's kind of looking at IWM. Azim, I'll get to your question in just a second here, so let me just finish the meta indices on that. But I expect small caps to be muted for quite a little bit. Until we can break out of this range, this 210 to 235, I don't expect small caps to really go anywhere right now. And you've seen reduced volatility in small caps as a whole. So that's kind of what I'm thinking of IWM. Bitcoin is kind of floundering, not floundering, but it's struggling to maintain a bid on the monthly V-up. It's kind of just oscillating around it right here. I was hoping after this week we'd get a good rally. It's still not too late for that. If we get a bearish close below the monthly VWAP, then that's going to create a much more mixed picture. Whereas if we had gotten a bullish close above this week, then that would press into 61 and 64 all-time highs. So kind of mixed right now. You know, we had good start to the week, but then it slowed a little bit. So I'm going to kind of wait and see how Bitcoin develops here. I really like buying at this 49 level. If we get there in a corrective fashion, you know, we kind of chop on our way down, I'm a buyer. I'll have to buy that. So that's kind of what I'm thinking on Bitcoin. All right. Marley, good morning to you. Justin, morning. Hello, Chi-Chan, good to see you. Eric, good to see you. So late, it's all good. It's all good, amiga. And morning to you, Stefano. Azim Nassar, can we trade only flag patterns? Someone told me that only flag pattern is enough to become profitable. Okay, so here's my thoughts on that. So if you trade flag patterns only, it's kind of like having one kick in martial arts, and that's the only move that you can do. Flag patterns are great patterns in and of themselves, but the thing about it is if you only trade flag patterns, you're going to have a very limited skill set. You know, it would be like, do you know about the UFC, Azim? So the UFC Ultimate Fighting Championship is mixed martial artists. You have to display in the UFC skills in multiple martial arts to win consistently, to be able to defend against multiple challengers, and to be a champion in the UFC. All the champions in the UFC have a diverse round of skills. They may be more specialized. They may do a majority of their skills in a particular martial arts, but they're all very well rounded. If you only trade flag patterns, you will not have a skill set that's going to help you adapt to multiple environments. And so having only trading flag patterns is like having one kick in your martial arts arsenal. That's it. And what happens if that one kick isn't really appropriate in that time period? You're going to have problems. So instead of trying to look for a pattern to be your path to profitability, my suggestion is you focus on skills that can help you adapt to any instrument, any time frame, any environment. If you just focus on flags, you will be very limited in what you can and cannot trade. And when the market's not doing what you want, you will have challenges and issues. You won't know how to hedge your swing positions. You won't know how to neutralize risk. So, and there'll be certain environments where you just won't have any flag patterns. You won't be able to make money. What good is your capital doing in your account if you can't make money that day? You're putting your capital, your money into your account to make more capital. If you don't use it to make more capital because you don't have flag patterns, you're kind of a fish out of water. So my suggestion is, instead of looking for that one pattern to profitability, which really in and of itself doesn't work, focus on building your skills. And so if you want to make money in trading, you need to have 4 skills. Of my students that are in here, what are the 4 skills? And Justin Goodman says it really well, that strategies come and go, skills never die. That's one of our most important statements. Strategies come and go, skills never die. So, Will says, well-rounded game works in Mortal Kombat as well. That's awesome. I was watching one of the Mortal Kombat tournaments the other day. It was pretty entertaining. These guys are really, really good. I stopped playing Mortal Kombat back in Mortal Kombat 3. I was a competitive player back then, but I used to go to video game parlors and play people for money and things like that. It was a lot of fun, but yeah, definitely not for me anymore. So, but it's a great game. So, what are the 4 skills that you need to make money? None of my students are answering. Okay, 4 skills. Okay, there we go. Phil Moore steps up to the plate. Nicely done. 1, buying and selling decisions. Yes. What techniques and what skills do you have to make buying and selling decisions? For us, it's analyzing the price action context and the order flow in the markets, and we use that as our buying and selling decisions. Number 2, risk and money management. That's a very important skill. You could be able to find flag patterns, but if you don't have good risk and money management, you won't make money. Number 3, mindset and performance skills. Yes, very important. Trading is a performance endeavor. You have to have the mindset skills to make money trading. You have to be able to perform when you are tasked to. If you don't, you can't manage your mind, you can't manage your emotions, you won't make money trading. You will constantly run into those issues over and over again because trading does a really good job of bringing those things up to us. And the 4th one is analytical skills. Yes, very important. You have to be able to analyze your own data, your own performance, your own statistics, and then pull information out of that will tell you where your strengths and weaknesses are, what you need to work on and what you don't. We right now only trade stocks that are above $3. Why do we do that? It's not that stocks under $3 don't move or provide good trade opportunities. It's because my analytics showed that when I trade stocks sub $3, I don't make money trading. I lose money. It's not much, but it's a little bit. And that's not interesting to me. So we use our analytical skills to find where we perform best. I was looking at my stats the other day, and another thing that stood out was the number of volume, the volume traded per day on that stock. If it's above a certain amount, then I tend to make money on that. If it's below a certain amount, I don't make any money when the volume is below a certain level. These are important analytical skills you need to have to be able to look at your own data, your own statistics, and then find out where you perform best, maximize that, and then find out where you're weak at, minimize that. And if you're not going to minimize it until you can make it a strength. If you don't focus on making a strength, then just focus on what you do well. So this is super, super important that you have these 4 skills. Just having flag patterns alone is not going to be a path to profitability. If it was, more people would be there. So hopefully I answered your question. And Constantine also got it as well. Nicely done. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to Benzinga movers for the day. Okay, so when I look at my Benzinga Pro dashboard, I have 4 sections here. Newsfeed. This kind of gives me up-to-date news, movers, analyst coverage, earnings announcements. This is a super important tab to me, but this is more important for like if I want to look up news on a particular stock or see what's moving or anything like that, any hot news. For our purposes, we focus on the details section, which is the charts, and then the movers. The movers is going to tell me what's moving today, pre-market right now, and by how much. What's the volume? What's their relationship to average volume? And that's what we're looking at. So what I focus on in the movers section, and we're in the gainers over the pre-market. If we were in a bearish day, if the markets were bearish and selling off day after day, then I'd be looking at losers, the ones that are losing on the day, and I look to sell those. But since we have a bullish market right now, I want to trade the stocks that are going up and that are moving up strong. So I look at the volume section, and I'm only looking at something 600,000 and above. This is partially has to do with our stats. When I looked at my stats, if I trade a stock that is under 1 million shares, I don't tend to make money. Anything above 1 million, I make money. So super important that I look for something that is a minimum 600,000 shares pre-market, because by the time it hits the open market, it should be around 1 million shares. So 600,000 gives me, hey, there's a fair amount of institutional interest in this pre-market, which means that it could be a mover as the market opens. So I only find 3 that are meeting this requirement today. I have Veru, DPW, and ATNX. So all I have to do in my Benzinga dashboard, this is why I love this app, click on that, and it shows me a brief chart right over here. I could maybe minimize this. Yeah, I kind of like my movers as is. I don't need that big a chart. Okay, so I see that there's why is it moving? Various shares are trading higher following a presentation of its 2 clinical data, Enobo's arm, and AR, metastatic breast cancer. Okay. Progressive estrogen blocking agents. Okay, so it presented some clinical data on one of its products that it's helping with metastatic breast cancer. Okay, that's potentially decent news. So I don't want to see that. So the market was opening at $9. It ripped all the way up to $11.62, and now we're about $1.10 off the highs. So we gained about $1.70 on the news, and now we're down about $1. Wait, that can't be right. No, sorry, 9 to. Okay, so we gained $2.66 on the news, and we're down $1.20 of that $2.66, so almost half. So that's less favorable, but we will take a look at it. So we'll take a look at Veru, and let's just kind of prime the charts. Okay, so that's Veru, another mover, 5.3 million shares, and its average 30 days 8.6. So it's a high mover pre-market, and it's already, what is that? 3/5 roughly, almost 2/3 roughly of our average 30-day volume. DPW, Alt Global Holdings. Alt Global Holdings shares are trading higher after company report. It sees preliminary Q1 sales of 13 million, up 132% on the year. Okay, so what did this do on the news? It went from $3 to $2.79 to $3.72. And has already faded half of it. So it gained about $1. It's already faded half of it. I probably will pass on this one here. Anytime you lose over half your gains, I'm generally less interested. So we'll probably pass on this one here. ANTX. Athletic shares are trading higher after the company announced it acquired Core Therapeutics. So an acquisition. Okay. It's not a big ripper. So for right now, we have Veru as our top mover on the day. Let's take a look at Veru. Okay, I already have a horizontal level here in Veru at 1014. Let's mark the pre-market highs at 1160. And then let's just briefly check in. Oops, I didn't want to do that. Let's briefly check in with the weekly. So 1160 is our highs. That's pretty decent resistance. Boom. Boom, we got this here. You also got a little more resistance just ahead, right over there. So where is that? That's around 1253. Okay. Once we get past 1284.13. Then you have room for 14, maybe a 15 push, possibly. Let me see what's going on in the option open interest world. Veru does not have options. Very interesting. Okay. That is interesting. So, with that being said, let's take a look at the pre-market. Okay. So, 880, 1160, that's 260, and it's down about $1 from that. Okay. Still workable. I would have liked this to kind of hang up here. You know, have a corrective structure up here. That would be very, very bullish, but that's not what we're seeing right now. So what are the challenges going forward? What do I see right here? I do see a support right around 1040, but it needs to clear the session VWAP, and it's going to need to clear this right around 1105, because right now it's formed a corrective structure inside here. So there clearly is a bid stepping up at 1040, and we're going to need a 5-minute close above the session VWAP, and then you got to clear 1105. If you do that, then you have room to play up here. And so it needs to build and hold here, and then if it can get into this territory and build pressure, then we can take a potential upside breakout on this one here. But I wouldn't want to buy this until we get above the session VWAP, which is this gold line here. So I'm going to set an alert at 1108 in case it does get above this spike high here. And then I'll set an alert here at 1168 so that if it breaks above this, it'll bring my attention back to the chart and I can see, hey, it's building. If it never gets back above here, then I don't want to be trading this. So that will be the first sign, hey, divert your attention to Veru. Let's see what it does from here. And then I also have an alert also here that if it breaks that I'll probably want to get long on this one here. So not a potential trade right now, but a potential trade as it develops. We're about 5 minutes of the market open, so it's going to need to step up its game a little bit. Okay, I do see some questions. Your screen is blurry, can't see what you see. Anybody else having blurry screen? Yes, no? All good here? No. Screen is okay? Nope. No. Nope. Okay for me? Okay. So, seems like everybody's doing okay on the screen. I'd probably just say just refresh. Saying good here, no problem. I'm just watching and maybe playing with Paper Money Sim. Copy that. It's okay for me. Okay. Overall, it seems like the screen is okay. So, quality up to 720, and that one is definitely not blurry. You might need to adjust the settings quality, UG is saying. That's a possibility. It's a very interesting suggestion. Thank you for your help on that, UG. Appreciate it. So that's kind of what I'm seeing on Veru right now. I do want to take a look at a couple others that we were looking at. See, this is fading already. That's, yeah. Big sell-off from VWAP. Not good. So we'll probably not end up taking a play in it. I have 720 vid. Would love to have better. Nibba says, you have a nice voice, sir. Thank you. I appreciate it. Chris Farron saying they have a speed issue. That's definitely a possibility. I mean, it's definitely not speed on our end. I got fiber plugged into the building here. We're getting not only 900 megabytes plus download, we're getting 900 upload, which is insane. So it shouldn't be on our end here, but had to double check. Okay. So we can do open Q&A right now. If there are any stocks or instruments you're looking at right now, I'm willing to take a look. There was a couple that I wanted to... What were the ones? Oh, Peloton. Peloton. So, PTON, I'm looking to sell Peloton. And where am I looking to sell Peloton? Probably on a rip to 100. I just want to see what's going on option open interest. So this Friday, around 25% of the options are rolling off on Peloton. Right now we have roughly 250,000 calls and almost 300,000 puts. So we have a fair amount of options rolling off this Friday, but I'm bearish on Peloton. And so you can see a head and shoulders pattern, very big head and shoulders pattern. And you can see neckline, left shoulder, head, lower right shoulder. This lower right shoulder is interesting because we had a bounce. So we break, build pressure above it, come back to it, find massive bids here. You know, this goes from 95 up to 166. It's a huge rally. Just kind of gets stuck here and just can't get past it and sells off aggressively over 3 weeks, finds a bid, but then look how much weaker, that's the opening bell. Look how much weaker the bounce is. Look at this bounce versus this rip. So much weaker bounce off of this support area, which is like 91. And so I'm looking to sell Peloton on a rally. I would love it if PTON gets up to 115, 120. I don't think we're going to get there. I don't think we're getting to 120. I would love to sell at the top of the right shoulder. That would be a great play because I could sell there, tight stop above this, and then we tag this. You know, that'd be my target, first target. But I don't think we're going to get there. So where would I want to... Let's clear some of that. Where would I want to sell Peloton? It's a pretty good rally off the lows towards the end. And we are holding above view up. But I think Peloton's going to run into resistance around 100. You can see we got a fair amount of resistance here. We got a fair amount of resistance here. You have even more here. And you got this right here, right around 100. So I'm going to look around 100. And if we get there and it kind of gets stuck, you know, I see some heavy offers come in on the time and sales. The level 2 dome looks a little weak. Then I'm going to look to sell that. If I feel like it's got enough strength, like it gets here and it's still showing a strong bid, buyers are coming in with size, time and sales looks really good, then I'll wait for a little bit higher up, and my next level would probably around 104. But I'm definitely looking to sell Peloton on a rally. Okay, let's do some open Q&A. Bindas Boy, I am watching from last 9 years. Thank you. Thank you for watching all these years. We appreciate it. Wow, 9 years. I was much younger then. 9 years. Wow, because we've been around since 2007. We incorporated in the beginning of 2007. So we've been around for 14 years. You've been around for most of that. That's awesome. Hopefully you've seen a lot of good changes over the years. Okay, Constantine wants to look at Brent. So let's go to our... Hey! Oh, we got an 1108 print on Vera? Really? Oh, big flash. Okay. Keep an eye on that. So, where is my... Okay. Hot IT. I'm assuming you want UK oil. You don't want futures? Constantine, just to make sure. Constantine's already posted a second one. Earnings on Peloton tomorrow. Yes, thank you for pointing that out. We do have earnings on Peloton tomorrow. That might be if the earnings don't come out that great, might be a great earnings play for implied volatility to fall down. Implied volatility builds up to earnings and then sells off. Brent futures. Okay, copy that. So Brent, you're looking at, we'll be looking for shorts on longer time frame resistance, 71, 26, 75, 55, 86. Okay. Short-term Brent is bullish. I wouldn't want to trade the breakout if it breaks out right now. I wouldn't mind a breakout pullback. But you're thinking, let's see, 71.26. So yeah, my first resistance area, I would say 72. 72 and a quarter. Then you have 75.55. Because of this spike. Possibly. It's just one spike. There's a fair amount of price action to the left of it. So possibly I could hold. I would probably, if my 72 and a quarter doesn't work, then I would look at like 79.40 would be my next sell level. 86, sure. But short term, this is bullish. Yeah, I mean, look at this. This is pretty big. That's a non-volatile move right there. And then we're building a little bit of a base here. So yeah, maybe a buy on dips if we don't break out here and we pull back. That might be a buy in dips. So short-term bullish, but medium-term or long-term, those levels are going to probably cap some pretty interesting resistance. So yeah, I'd look to sell on a higher up, and short term I want to be bullish on Brent. Okay, next call out. NVIDIA short. What time frame are you thinking, Chris Farron? Whoa, wrong one. Okay. How's Vera doing? Vera is still, yeah, okay. So what time frame are you looking at on that one there? Let me know. Take a sip of my juice. Sipping on gin and juice. Laid back. Okay, let me know on the time frame on that one, Chris Farron. Nico Purpose. How do you find what trades you are going to do? Nico, were you here for the very beginning of this? Because we went over our process for finding the top movers for the day. Other than that, I'm just looking at what's moving. I analyze the price action context, and I look at kind of what's going on in the order flow in the markets, not just in the price section, but also in open interest with options. And then I make my trading decisions. Yeah. But if you come here, you'll see that I consistently go over the process for finding my trades in real time. Okay, so you want to look at 30-minute. All right, I'll look at a 1 hour. It's close enough. NVIDIA short. There's definitely some resistance at 591. So let's see what's going on with the option open interest world on NVIDIA. The chip makers have had a little bit of a sell-off lately. Okay, so we roughly got 300,000 puts, 375,000 puts, 300,000 calls. And the next expiry, the majority of open interest doesn't expire till May 21st, which is the May expiry for options. So nothing short-term that should cap, nothing short-term that should affect options. Let's take a look at one more thing. Okay, so I think 592 is not bad. I'd probably want to have a pretty tight stop on this one here. Maybe $1.50, $2 on NVIDIA here. And I'd really want, when I look at this, the level 2, the dome, to be heavy on the offer. I'd like to see, some very thick offers come in, absorb the buying pressure. If we start to get above this, the key for me is this 600 here. That's key. You definitely have some resistance here. But if we get above 592, then I think at 592 and a quarter, then I think it's going to really test this 600. If the 600 doesn't hold as resistance, then I think NVIDIA has got a fair amount of room to run. How much room could I see this running? Just looking at options right now. Yeah, I mean, it's got a fair amount of room to run. So when I look at this, I think you got resistance here, resistance here. If those fails, I have to get long. And so I think I could easily see it going to 610, possibly 620. If it does it impulsively from here, like it just rips all the way through, then you're going to start testing 620, maybe 627, and maybe a recapture of the 650. So short term, it's going to need to prove itself. So you got your levels, 592 and a quarter, or 592.36, and then 599.50. And if those don't hold, then I think you got to get long. But so far, it has kind of kept that resistance thus far. Let's see what's going on 5 minute. This is pretty strong buying. You see how consistent that is? It's pretty strong. You're not seeing, you're seeing very few closes below the 20 EMA, which is the purple line. So, yeah. So far, it's steady, consistent buying. It's not gangster, but it's just steady and consistent. If we start to lose some of this, lose 582, then I can see it rolling back down to 573. So there's potential for a short idea here. Like if it gets back up here, but it does so very meekly, and you see some pretty good offers come in, then I think a potential short idea. So not a bad idea, Chris. Yeah, it's not bad at all. You kind of got plays on both sides there. You got the short side and you got potential long side if we get above 600. I am going to set an alert if we get above 600. That will kind of warn me. But not a bad play here. Okay, Constantine, your US dollar. Your US dollar rate on sell from current levels. Let's go with FXCM, 1 hour. So there's your support. That's a key line in the sand. You got resistance here. You got support there. And you're definitely catching a little bit of a bid here. So, you know, long, there's definitely a potential long here at 119.95. Don't need a big stop loss on this at all. At least on a 1 hour chart. I wouldn't need a big stop loss. I'd say maybe 30 pips on the downside. Now, upside, you got to get past 2020 and this right here, 2030, and then it opens up some of the fresh topside to 2050. And if you can get past that, then you're looking at 21. So short term, you got a clear line in the sand. I wouldn't want to sell at current levels. I'd want this to break, or I'd want a weak rally. But I wouldn't want to sell at current levels. That's kind of what I'm thinking on that one there. Stefano. Yeah. Travel's been an interesting one. We did a travel play and it didn't work out. I feel like travel medium term to long term is bullish, but I think short term it's a very, very mixed. So I might do some. I mean, there's a lot of kind of reopening news coming out, so that could always provide a bullish tailwind for travel. But I'm not ready to go full lock, stock, and barrel on travel yet. So you're thinking, what do you want on UAL? Maybe push it on the bear side of your Carson losses on the May 7th. Well, if you bought a bear put spread, there's no recovering your losses. You already paid the full out. So it either goes into profit or not. I wouldn't hope on this one here. I mean, short term, it's really mixed. I would tend to do neutral to slightly bullish strategies, but more neutral. So let's see what's going on this one here. Okay. I think we're probably going to get some decent resistance at 54. I think between 54 and 55, I would probably be a seller. Very tight stop above this. Target to move back down to 53. And if we can get even lower to 52, that would be nice. But I think it's going to struggle to break through the 55 resistance. Unless we get some really good new, fresh news about reopening. Yeah. That's what I'm thinking. Unless we get some fresh news, I don't think it's going to get gangster bullish. But that's kind of what I'm thinking. Okay. Let's see here. Hopefully I answered your question on that one there. Gin and Juice, never would have thought you knew that song. Oh, yeah. I'm old. I know that song. What is the best time to get on? I want to learn more. What is the best time to get on? Could you help me understand that question a little bit more? Do you mean what is the best time to trade? Or what is the best time to kind of view our YouTube streams? Let me know what you want on that, Nico. Bindus Bull is saying, I really like your fake setup. Do you mean false break setup, Bindus? Let me know. We'll go back to the beginning later today. I'm from India. I love you, sir, and all your knowledge. I appreciate it, Bindus. I really do. Can you please check Mara Clarabelle? So we'll happy to do any call out. We just need instrument, time frame, 1 cent subscription, bullish or bearish. So give me a time frame and give me a 1 cent subscription, bullish or bearish. Justin Goodman, pound yen. Okay, we'll go another 5 minutes, and then I got to get to trading the markets. Pound yen. Weekly short for the long-term price of yearly highs. Let's take a look at your... I feel like yen pairs as a whole are building. This is constructive, but we are getting into some thick territory. So 53.08 probably be first sell level, 55, 58, 55. Yeah, around 55, 50. You have to sell that. Tight stops above. Just stops above that. Yeah, I think this is going to hold. Yen pairs have been strong right now, but I think there's a potential that this holds the first touch. So I think it's definitely decent for a potential play off that one there. Yeah, it's not bad. That's not a bad level. Yeah, I'll set an alert. It's not a bad level. Okay. Okay, Microsoft. Seems like mostly swing trading, fellows. We do day trading here. Most of our day trading is like Vero would be a potential day trade, but it didn't. And we'll look at day trades with our live members. We look at day trades here if members call it out, for sure. If somebody wants to look at a 5-minute chart, I do look at it. But we do a lot of day trading ourselves. We've shown in our stats that we do a fair amount of day trading. So, yeah. But I can see why some people do a lot more swing trading. Not everybody can be at the markets for 4, 5, 6 hours a day. Not everybody has the tools or the time to set up. People have busy lives. I get that. So, yeah. What is the okay, to catch the stream from the beginning? So 6 a.m. Pacific, 9 a.m. Eastern. We do a stream every Wednesdays. Sometimes we'll do Fridays. This Friday we won't. We're releasing our intro to options video. We will be releasing that. So we're doing part 1 this Friday, and that will give everybody a good foundation on how to understand options. Then in a few weeks from now, we'll release part 2, and then that will be our whole intro to options course that will be free on YouTube. But every Wednesday, 9 a.m. Eastern. Also on Mondays at 10:30 Eastern, we are live on Benzinga on their Get Technical show, and that is we just cover options on that one there. So yeah. Okay. All right. I think that covers all of it. Oh, Chris Farron wanted to do Microsoft real quick. Let's take a look. So I got a position in Microsoft. You want to look at 1 hour. Bindis, we covered Bitcoin early in the session for sure. So rewatch the stream from the beginning after this, and you'll see our coverage on Bitcoin. Okay, so Microsoft, 60 minute. Microsoft's building some pressure here, 249, 250. I think if it can get above 250, I think it's we're already long, so we might add. But if you're not long, I like being long at 250. Let me see if there's anything going on in the open interest world. I know that Bill Gates is getting divorced. I don't know if that's going to have an effect upon it. I know it's going to have an effect upon his wealth because he's going to have a fair amount that there. So, yeah, I kind of like 250. I think if we recover 250, I feel good about possibly adding to this trade. So, yeah, I like Microsoft. I like Microsoft. If we happen to get a bigger dip, I think it's a buy. Where would I... So we're at the first pullback level. We hit the first pullback level and bounced 245. Right there. Next pullback level 230, gangster level. In my opinion, is Microsoft going to be above 230 at the end of the year? Yes. Is it going to be above 250 at the end of the year? Yes. That's why I think it's such a good buy. I think if we're lucky enough to get a pullback to 230, 230.64, I have to add more to my position there. 245, I'm not entirely sure if I would add more there. Maybe. But 230.64, absolutely have to add to my position there. So I'm gunning for like a 275, 300 target on Microsoft at the end of the year. So that's kind of how I'm playing on this one here. Yes, that's a good call out. Okay. Jeffrey Bank, is there anything wrong with trading stocks with market cap below 50 million? No, I don't have any problem with it. You just got to understand liquidity could be an issue. Spreads could be an issue. You may not be able to get options on them. But I don't have any problem with trading stocks below 50 million market cap. No problem. Skixel, I do not know how to trade, but I want to learn about it. What is a good start? So we have a free on our YouTube channel. We have an intro to stock trading course. Let me get that video for you here. Give me one moment and I will get you that video. Your channel. There we go. How to train video. And intro stock trading course for beginners. Okay. So here is that intro to stock trading course for beginners video. So I'll post that link in here. Actually, I'll post it in there. Intro to stock trading. And I spelled trading wrong. Nicely done. Okay, so there you go. So yeah, there's our intro to stock trading. Nico's saying, I think options is a more efficient way to day trade. I think options have their challenges in terms of day trading. They require certain timing and precision. They do give you more leverage, which is fantastic. But when it comes to pure day trading, I prefer day trading stocks. But yeah, I mean, you can definitely day trade options, but you need very precise timing. You have to catch a high gamma momentum move to really make it worth it. If you don't, then your options are worthless, and you're probably going to have to either sell a huge volatility crush type move, or you're going to have to buy something that's going from low IV to high IV. So yeah, that's but it's definitely potential. But I enjoy day trading options and stocks. Gates Caden to focus on business long term, possibly. I mean, he's already a pretty focused guy, so yeah, that's for sure. Any certified courses from your channel or institute? You get a certificate. There is no global certification that technically recognizes courses. Like, there's no institutional or regulating governing body that recognizes certain courses. So sadly, we're not there yet. Love the new streaming software, by the way. Quality is perfect. Appreciate it. These guys have, Will saying, these guys have a lot of good videos about trading, some for beginners like us. Thank you. I appreciate it. Chris Farron says, do you think understanding options is needed for day trading? I don't know if it's necessarily needed for day trading in terms of being able to trade options. I think it helps to understand option positioning, order flow, and open interest. Super, super helpful, because that's going to tell you option dealers and option makers are some of the largest movers in the market. They're incredibly active. So knowing where they're positioned, how they're positioned, is going to tell you whether you're going to run into some of those levels that they're going to be like, you're not getting past here. So it's super helpful to understand that. Do you have to know how to trade options to do that? Not necessarily. But I think it's a fantastic tool that'll help. Carl Miller, how does one pick an offshore broker for FX trading that doesn't have FIFO and not hedging? It's a good question. I Google it. I honestly don't know. I just trade through Thinkorswim, so I get all my FX through that. But I don't know about that specifically. What is your best time frame setup for intraday? I trade the 5-minute and 1-minute for intraday. And the Skixel is saying, thank you much. I do not have a computer. I'm using a library computer. How do I trade without the internet? I do not want to get tracked by big tech. Kind of hard to do. Yeah, you're going to have to use like a phone or something like that and get some sort of brokerage like that. So, okay, I got to wrap it up. I got to go to live trading for our members right now. So I hope you enjoyed this. If you haven't already, hit that like button. We appreciate it. It helps us. It tells YouTube, hey, we enjoyed this stream. Hey, you guys find this content good. Hey, YouTube's going to give us a little bit of boost. We appreciate that because I do this for free. I could have been trading right now and helping make some money, pay some bills, but I wasn't doing that. I was doing this for free. So I hope you enjoy that. Hit that like button. We really appreciate it. I will see you guys next Wednesday live here on YouTube. This Friday, and keep an eye out for our free Intro to Options video coming out, our free Intro to Options course coming out, and then I will see you Monday on Get Technical. So good luck trading. Let's go make some money, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care, everyone.